Got it. All right, gentlemen, we are live. I'm clicking record because if I don't, that would be awful. Recording is now in progress. We are back. Tweeting it out now. What's the Line podcast? How y'all feeling, man?
What's going on?
Yeah, you know. NFL week 1, baby. Rome, what's going on, man? This is just cordial. We haven't started yet. It's just, let's. How you feeling?
Got nothing for it.
After this past weekend with college football, I'm ready to go.
You had a good weekend?
What's that?
You had a good weekend?
Hell of a good weekend. That straight, what was that? The money line parlay? That thing that Mississippi State almost fucked up?
You saw me hard, bro. I'm all for it in the college. There's just so many teams. I feel like that's the move. That's the move. You got one of those in there.
I went big on that one. I put up like 700 to win like 1,000 on that.
That's good money. That's good money for sure. I'm feeling good about the NFL season though, P. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. Very rested.
Yes, sir.
Veteran out here this year. No leans this year. No leans this year. We're in it for the big money with Paris. I can't be leaning all over the place this year. We got to stand our ground.
Big money, baby. Big money. We all in. We're all in.
Right.
Not gonna play around. All right. Just retweeting. All in for September.
Give me 1 second. I'm grabbing a couple beers.
Yes. Rome. It's about to be peak Rome. No Monday night games this year, gentlemen. No Monday night.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Sorry. We gotta do new things.
But
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Whatever.
I like it though. Because them Monday night games, them lines be moving Sunday night after everybody lose their money. Then you be looking at a 7.5. That was a 5 or some shit. Keith, I think you on mute.
Oh yeah. No, I'm here. I'm here.
So I realized I sent the pod notes, but like the games are kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna just go by my down the list of my phone. So y'all might have to like look through a little bit, but all the games are there.
Gotcha.
But we know what game 1 is, baby. All right, let's get into it. Season 3 feels good. And we're back. Annie Up Consulting presents What's the Line podcast, season 3. This is the podcast where we talk all the NFL games each and every week, all the spreads, the lines, the over-unders, teaser picks, possible prop plays, all of the things you want to bet with NFL betting, NFL sports. So we're here, Annie Up Consulting. What's the Line podcast? Like we said, season 3. It feels good, gentlemen. Back again. We're doing things a little different this year. We got a lot of new surprises, a lot of new waves, things going on, including Where's Rome? We'll get to that in a second. But speaking of Rome, let's introduce the guys. Rome, how you feeling, baby? Season 3, we're back. You're on mute.
Go.
Oh no, you're not.
Ready to go, man. Ready to go. Big year for us this year. Rolling out a lot of new things. So I'm looking forward to what we can do, in terms of internally as well as our picks and all the other things we got going, with Anti Up. So I'm ready to go year 3.
A lot of money to be made, Rome. All right, that's our friend in Rome. Keys, Papa Keys, you're back with us, man. Talk to me. How you feeling this year? Season 3.
Season 3, I'm feeling rested. I'm feeling ready to go. I was just saying earlier, no leans. No, I'm not gonna be doing as much leaning this year. I'm gonna have to pick a side. So I'm be excited for that, just to be tracking that. You know me, I like to preach stay away if you don't have to, but but just because of the circumstances, we're going all in this year.
We're all in for September, Ain't that right, Sound Man? Good to see you, my guy. Talk to me. How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I wish I got the memo of the virtual backgrounds. Obviously, I don't got any virtual background. We could change that. But I'm good. I'm here. You know me, guys. Season 3. If it ain't a dog, I ain't doing it. So I'm ready to harp down on these dogs this year, man.
All right, so Sound Man, Sound Man loves the dogs. If you don't know, he always has a Sound Man special. I would say each and every week, but he does skip out maybe a week or two during the season. He's just like, I got nothing. But that's when he picks an underdog to win outright, not just against the spread, but to win outright. So plus money is a Sound Man special. He'll be doing that weekly. 18 weeks this year, gentlemen. It's 18 weeks. We'll probably go for 17, but it's gonna be a long season. It's gonna be great. I want to talk about a couple other things real quick. This is the What's the Line podcast. We're gonna drop each and every Thursday. Like we said, talk all the NFL games except the Monday Night Football game, because we're gonna introduce the What's the Line Monday morning podcast. We're gonna review the Sunday Night Football game, a couple of marquee games, that happened during the day Sunday, and then we're gonna preview the Monday night game, give some best bets. Gentlemen, you guys aren't going to be on that podcast, but if you have best bets for that Monday night, throw them in there. Let me know. We can always plug them in. That's not a thing, but so we're gonna have the Monday morning podcast, Annie Up, What's the Line podcast. So that's gonna be exciting. We also have Annie Up University. We're 2 episodes in. We're going on week 3 this upcoming week. So that's been off to a great start. Shout out to our friend in Paris. Went 3-0 last week, clean sweep. He's our Heisman winner this week, so that's great. Shout out to him. So we're doing a lot of new things. 2 new podcasts, Annie Up University, and the What's the Line Monday morning podcast. That'll just drop while you're drinking your morning coffee, all that good stuff. We also have a new Discord channel. So all of those that just kind of want to get more insights into sports gambling, into like how we think about it. Why Rome would or would not bet a value play or a line. Maybe he'll stay away. Kind of want to just get insight to that. We also have our exclusive picks there, which we're not afraid to give out. Paris continues to do his thing. I'm ready for the NFL. Got some picks coming to you all soon. So it's just great. We got all that. We also links to the podcast there. Continue resources. I just gave out some offensive line returning things. So it's a lot of great things we got there in the Discord channel. You can get to that either on our Instagram or our Twitter. The Twitter is Annie Up Consult, Instagram Annie Up Consulting. So all of that good stuff. It doesn't stop. Got some exclusive hoodies coming out too. The Where's Rome contest. We'll get to the Where's Rome later. All right, gentlemen. I just want to review some things from last year. Rome, once again, 62%. Plus on the best bets last year on the podcast. Shout out to you. We're coming strong again. If you all don't know, if you're just like kind of a little wet behind the ears, if you're winning 56% or better sports gambling as a professional bettor, you're winning money. That's the point you want to be. You don't want to be down there in the 43%, the 33. Like we want to win money here long term. So that's great to hear. We're on 62% on the pod. Our friend in Paris, 65%. In our chat last year. So all of those that are getting into the Discord now, understand he went 65%. He had over 160 plays last year. So I just want to give credit to him as well. I was 70% on teasers on this very podcast. So I was also 70% in the chat. So we're lethal. We're getting sharp, Sound Man. Ain't that right? You got us fanboy stuff on. I love to see it, Sound Man, the fans fan. Let's get into it, gentlemen. Week 1, Thursday night football. Cowboys at the Bucks. Bucks favored by 8. Total is 51. Few stats just want to give out. Looks like the Cowboys 9-10 against the spread as a road dog since Dak Prescott has been the quarterback. 2-3 is in the season debut under Dak Prescott. 23-28-2 non-division games. We know the Bucks coming off the Super Bowl win. But Bruce Arians 2-5 in season openers, 18-20-2. Bruce Arians is a home fave. So stats don't necessarily back them, but got Brady, the Bucks, Super Bowl champs. Rome, what do you feel about this game? Bucks -8 versus the Cowboys, total 51.
Bucks -8. Line opened at 6 earlier this summer, and I think the money now coming in on the Bucks shows obviously people are believing in the Super Bowl champions and their ability to repeat and come out strong starting the year off with 22 returning starters of the 22 that were there last year. So I think the stakes are pretty high on the Bucks. So lots of pressure on them, not too much pressure on the Cowboys coming in here. So I'm leaning Bucks in this game, but I'm leaning Bucks for a reason opposite of the obvious reasons as the Bucks return those starters. It's really because Dak Prescott hasn't had too many snaps in preseason, and then you get the news just a couple of days ago about Zach Martin out with COVID, so he's probably not going to play. And so now you got an offensive line already going into week 1 that's not 100%, and a quarterback that hasn't taken more than 10 snaps or any snaps in the preseason. He also tweaked his shoulder in camp, so we're not sure if that's going to be up to par. So I think, Dallas, I've been big on them all offseason, talking about how they should be able to win the NFC East. I think that'll be a thing. It'll be a classic Dallas Cowboys season where they have to, they go through their lumps and whatnot, and they end up, 10-7 or 11-6. But I don't see them coming out week 1 being as strong as they should be here against the Super Bowl champions. Like I said, they have all the continuity that they need on defense and on offense, and then you got the Cowboys here with Dan Quinn. What are they going to do defensively? That's something that's going to take some time to mesh. We know Micah Parsons has had a outstanding preseason and a few snaps that he's had, but is that defense going to be better than what it was last year? We talked about the Cowboys. Ball security was a big thing for them last year. All these small things that all equivalent to being a good football team are the things that the Dallas Cowboys need to improve on. Those are all the things that we saw from the Bucks last year as they won the Super Bowl. So I like laying the 7.5. I'm actually more comfortable laying at 7.5 than I would be a 7. 7.5 says they're two possessions better than this football team, and I believe that at this point in the season, specifically week 1 with Dak Prescott not having too many snaps in that preseason.
All right, so you like or laying with the Bucks?
I like it. I already played it at 7, so it's up to 7.5. I think you might have mentioned 8, but I said
8. Yeah.
Yeah, I see 7.5 at a lot of shops. So I mean, if you get that 7.5, I would take it. Obviously, catching that hook. But I like the Bucks here. I like them up to 8, and I would lay it at 8.
All right, so Rome likes the Bucks -8. He played it already at the 7, but we can't go through the history. It's now at 8, but he likes it still at 8. Soundman, how do you feel about this one? Bucks -8.
As I was looking for the virtual background, let me get out of this. No, I love it actually. We can insert my drop here for the Brady drop. We can do that here. I knew this game a while ago. I think this is gonna be like a 38, maybe like 13 type of game, and Dallas scores
38-17. Give them 17.
Something like that. But I think they're gonna score something late that'll make it look a little bit better than what it was. But these guys are about to get blown out. I watched the Hard Knocks. Doesn't seem like these guys, the Cowboys, obviously, I don't like them, but it doesn't seem like they did anything to address their huge issues to me, which was their secondary. All they did was draft Micah, and they're holding them back in the preseason and all that. So, who knows what the defense is going to look like. As Rome said, this guy, Dak, hasn't been throwing. I think he'll be fine, but it's still like, there's no continuity out there. And then you just go over to the good side of the football team, the Bucks. Bama has brought everybody back. As we all know, continuity is amazing. It was one game they played against the Texans, and they just went down and drove and scored mad easy in the preseason. I'm like, okay. I'm looking at Dallas on Hard Knocks, and I'm like, these guys are going to get blown out on Tuesday or Thursday, and it's going to be welcome back to football, man. Let's have fun. Let's get our rings and all that. I'd love whatever number it was. 38-13, man. It's over for these Cowboys. I would love the 7. Take the 7. I love the Bucks here, man.
All right, Keys. So if you don't know that sound, man, that's the fan with his Washington football team hoodie on now as we speak. Keys, how do you feel about this game? Bucks -8, total 51.
I definitely strong lean with the -8. I like the 6 that it opened as Rome was saying. And I love putting this on a teaser though at the 8, teasing it down to 1. That I love that. But yeah, I definitely like it for the similar reasons of what Rome pointed out. Is you're betting against literally the Super Bowl champion versus, at best a contender this year, but on paper indefinitely something that is unproven. An injured quarterback coming back for the first time. It's just when you talk about betting money on it, it's just like I don't really see the case for betting with the Cowboys in this spot. If anything, if you are a Cowboys believer this year and you want to stay away, I can see that as well. Like fan the opposite way, you know what I mean? Like, but I definitely don't see how you can bet against Brady in this spot. Just they're getting a number as if they are a contender, and most people are expecting them, hoping for them to be, but you just don't know. They were the last team we saw was definitely not a contender out there. So it's definitely what everyone's going to be looking for. So it's a big game this weekend, but in terms of betting, you go Brady here or you just stay away, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with your last sentence there a lot. I'm actually leaning with the Cowboys plus the 8 points. I think, it's obviously a lot of points. Opening night, everybody's pretty much, coming into the season healthy besides Dak, I guess you can say. But, I just think that, like I said, it's a lot of points. We talk about this Bucs team who struggled last season on primetime, like in primetime games. I don't know what it was. But I remember betting with them a couple times, and I was like, no, I ain't doing that shit again on prime time. Not with the Bucs. I don't know what it is. So I just don't know. I feel like there could be, some distractions with getting your rings, a lot of emotion in that. Family, could be, in the stands. I know the fans are back. So, you got to get tickets for that. Stuff like that. Kind of can be like a little bit of a hangover of the Super Bowl. And I gave you guys a stat earlier in this off season, but what is it? So since 2011, Super Bowl champions favored by 6 points or more in week 1 are 5-10 against the spread. I think that does have something to do with just that Super Bowl hangover and getting your, ring night, all of that good stuff. I think the only team that did not play at home after they won the Super Bowl was maybe the Ravens that one random year.
2000?
No, it was like 20 when they won again.
2013.
So yeah. I think they didn't start in the at home that year. So I just think that it's going to be a lot involved into it. I think this Cowboys team can score. I know Dak isn't quote unquote like healthy, but I'm not. This isn't a 17-week bet. It's a 1-game bet. I think he's going to put up the ball. I can see a CeeDee Lamb breaking out with a long touchdown. Suddenly they're up 7-0, and maybe I feel like I got plus 8 points here. So I'm going to lean with the plus 8.
Total. I mean, the total, it opened at 53. Now it's down to 52, 51 in some books. William Hill has it at 50.
I think that's a reaction to the Dak, arm thing. Like his arm was tired or whatever, but I just think in one game, he's been, hasn't really, played in a game in a while. I just think he'll put up the stats in this one, especially the pass attempts that they need be. So I'll probably go over that 51 actually.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you like the Cowboys in terms of, being able to cover the number. You don't think they have much of a chance to win this ball game outright, do you?
I think they have I think they have a chance. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm not gonna, I think they have an opportunity. Yeah, I think they have a chance.
Well, my question was more so, do you think they'll be able to cover? Or do you think they'll be able to win? And with that answer, I was gonna go, if you don't think they'll be able to win, where's the first half Bucks line, and why don't you feel more confident playing that rather than catching 8?
Correct. Yeah, and I do think they could possibly win. Like I feel like we've seen games like this where everybody's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's this way, and then it's just like, oh damn, like oh yeah, we didn't see that one coming. So I feel like I've seen stuff like this in the past. I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to win, but I definitely lean with the plus 8 rather than the lean with the Bucks having a win by 2 possessions. So.
Right. And I think that just goes back to my point as to why I'm more confident laying that number now, because for that line to get there, obviously the Bucks believe that, to have split money on both sides, that, somebody believes that the Bucks can win by 2 possessions to get that line even up to 7.5, which is the 2 possession mark. So. Yeah,
and their Cowboys' best offensive lineman has been ruled. Or I don't think he's officially been ruled out yet, but it doesn't look like he's going to play Zach Martin. Right. So yeah. So is that what was that 3 likes? 3 likes on the Bucks minus 8?
It's already been played for me. So
3 likes on the Bucks minus 8. I lean with the Cowboys plus the 8. As far as the total, I lean on the over. What do you guys? As far as the total?
I don't have anything for the total.
All right. Nothing. All right. Next game, Sunday. Eagles at Falcons. Falcons favored by 3.5. Whoa. Total is 48. So Eagles coming into this season, we kind of know Jalen Hurts is running the show, quarterback this year. It's hard to get their stats. So I went back the last 4 years. Their overall Eagles 9-9 against the spread as a road dog since 2017, 24-22 against the spread non-division. Falcons not too good against the spread stats either. 39-45-1 against the spread as a home favorite. 5-8 against the spread in season debuts. Matt Ryan since 2008, and he started off pretty good in those, but hasn't done well lately. So 3.5 Falcons favor here. Sound man, what do you think about this one?
Not gonna lie, I didn't even look at this game. This just looks like an ugly game. The
3.5.
The 3.5. So the famous words that you and Rome's the hook. I don't like the hook here. I would probably lean Eagles here.
3.5 at home covers, 3.5 on the road does not.
I'm a lean Eagles here, just because everybody's hyping the Hurts guy up. I like the Hurts kid. I don't think the Eagles, just like the Cowboys, didn't do anything to address their issues. So it's just like
the Cowboys drafted Michael Parsons.
Like I said, their issues was secondary, and you drafted linebacker, but
they are also getting ran. Yeah.
Right. So but nonetheless, I would just probably lean Eagles here, just because of just the Falcons. Who are the Falcons? What have they done as well? You get Pitts. What does that have to do with anything at this point? Julio's gone. It's just I got nothing for this game. I'm just lean Eagles here, man. That's all I got.
All right, Keys, what do you think about this game? Falcons favored by 3.5 against the Eagles, total 48. Week 1.
I think I'm gonna like the Eagles here. Two terrible teams in my estimation. I feel like both of them are gonna be trending towards the bottom of the league for sure. No matter how many of their young players you may or may not like. I feel like it'd be hard pressed for either one of those teams to like shake that destiny this year. It would be interesting. I'll be rooting for it, but to me, it's just two bad teams with the low total. I'm gonna take the dog to cover the 3.5. That's pretty much all the analysis I have for it. These are two teams that I think are gonna look totally different from last year. Well, hopefully. So it's kind of hard to gauge what you see out of them. They're definitely not a team that I don't think anybody was running to the books like to bet week 1. Like as Soundman just stated, he didn't even dive deep into this game at all.
Right.
I think it's definitely, if you look into the money, it's probably not much money on this bet. Like, I can't see anybody having a strong opinion either way. But in these types of games, I just like going with the underdog, a low total to cover the spread. Two bad teams.
All right, so that's how Keys feels. Rome, how you feel about this one? Falcons favored by 3.5, live from ATL. Talk to us, Rome.
Got a like on this one. It's in the first half under. I look for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, he played a couple games last year, started them. He didn't look overly impressive in those starts. He looked like a pro football quarterback. Roll Tide, Ramajam Bama, comes from the Alabama school. I was a big Jalen Hurts fan when he was at Bama. Thought he was better than Tua. Loved when he came back in the SEC championship game and did what he had to do there. All that said, I've always been raving as Jalen Hurts being a pro football quarterback. Is he one after 4 starts in pro football right now? I'm not going to vouch. I'm not going to say that they're going to come out hot and steaming with weapons, that being Jalen Reagor, who I'm also big on this year, Dallas Goedert, who's also been in trade talks this past week, and an offensive line that who knows what they're going to be. Are they going to be the show of themselves? Or, you never know what you're getting from that Philly offensive line. 3 years ago, going back to the Super Bowl, that seems like forever ago, they were able to run the football. Last year, you couldn't pay them to run the football. So you get Nick in here. He's a quarterback-friendly type of guy. Is he going to want to stick to the ground game if it's working? If it does, new head football coaches, they like to go with what's working. They're not going to try and get too cute. They're not going to try and put on the show in their first outing. They're trying to get the win in their first outing. So if the Eagles can get the ground game going, which I don't think they won't be able to. I think against this Falcons defense that was, there's a reason why Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator from Seahawks, who gets hired as the Atlanta coach, is fired last year because their defense couldn't stop a common cold. So, you got Deion Jones, no Neal back there. who's going to stop the run? So if the Eagles can manage the football game, which I think they'll be able to do, or which I think they'll, intentions will be with Jalen Hurts coming out here in week 1, I don't think they're going to try and get too cute with him, make him throw 17 passes in the first half. I think his passes will be around, 12 to 15 passes in that first half. I think they're going to try and run the ball, control the clock, and get out of Atlanta with the dub. On the other hand, you got Matt Ryan. This is a team that hasn't had a run game in a couple years. So I also see them coming out trying to establish the run. We know Julio's gone. Kyle Pitts is plugged in. You still got Ridley on the outside, but there's going to be a lot of, spots to plug in there for production on offense in the Atlanta side of the ball. So you got 2 defenses here that seem kind of poor, right? And then 2 offenses that don't really have an identity. Like I said, Atlanta's identity for the past 10 years has been slinging the ball across the field, play action off a running back when they had a good ground game in Freeman. They haven't had that in some years. And so now, it's 2 teams that are trying to reestablish themselves. What do teams do when they try to reestablish themselves? They try to start with the ground game, work off play action and quick passes. I don't see it, if this game was played in week 12, I would see a different type of game played. But because it's in week 1, these are 2 teams, like I said, that are trying to establish themselves, their identities. It's week 1. I like ground game in the first half. I like the under, especially with the low total here. This total at 47.5 is what it opened at. It didn't open at that, just because somebody threw out the number. 47.5 is low. That's 23 points a pop. These 2 teams, they both averaged giving up that last year. So why is this total so low? I don't think it's because, like you said, like Salman said, I don't think it's because, the answers have been, the check marks have been answered on defense in terms of, the Eagles and what they did. And it hasn't been answered on defense as far as Atlanta. So why is this line so low? Because these offenses don't have any continuity. These are going to be 2 teams trying to establish themselves. Even the first half under, I see 23.5 at some shops right now, and I think that's where the line will end up. I don't see this line, total fluctuating too much here. I like the first half under on the Falcons, Eagles. Going to actually play that this evening. Haven't played it yet, though.
All right. That's Rome, our friend in Rome, at RomyRome _ on Twitter. I just thought that was a great play, Rome. I like your, handicap there. I think both teams will try to establish a run game here, especially with Jalen Hurts, who kind of looks, runs after the first look. So I think that the run game would definitely try to be established by both teams. That's a great play. So once again, that was Rome. It's actually a stay away from me, gentlemen. I'm not fucking with the Falcons -3.5 against the Eagles. I can't do it. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next game. Next game is Steelers at the Bills. Bills favored by 6.5. Total is 50.5. I guess I'll start with me on this one. I have a like on the Steelers plus the points. I'm just gonna look to my screen on my right of me, and I see the Pittsburgh Steelers since 2017 are 10-3 against the spread as a road dog. I just think that this team has such good, continuity and have established such a culture. And we're going against a Bills team who, there are people questioning Josh Allen. Will he regress this year? I don't think so. I mean, I think, once you got it, you kind of just got it. People usually show in year 2 or 3, the quarterbacks usually show that's when they, kind of take that next step. He did. But I just think that, you're basically saying this Bills team is going to win by a touchdown or more. And I think that the Steelers defense is still going to be legit. Bringing back the Minka Fitzpatricks of the world. I
got a question.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish, but I just got a question.
Go ahead. Yeah, give me now.
Is this going to finally be the Steelers team that goes under 500 under Mike Tomlin?
I don't believe so. I think they, have enough as far as I feel like the division to be a little tougher. But I still think that you have enough offensively to really, even like a Najee Harris, they're going to try to establish a run. He's going to be, out the backfield. James Conner, I understand the offensive line wasn't great last year, but he was.
They could not run the ball last year, and I don't think. How about this? They couldn't run the ball last year, and James Conner wasn't the problem. So they got cute. They got out to the 9-0 start. A lot of it was because of quick game and getting the ball out of Big Ben's hands early. We saw this StatCast where, Big Ben got the ball out on 2.3 average per throw, and he was very efficient when doing that. Then they get into that playoff games, the Bengals. in the game against the Washington football team prior to that, where they clamped up and they played a lot of man coverage, very press coverage, and the ball couldn't get out. Those short releases weren't there. He was holding on to the ball longer. The Washington football team gave that formula out. Browns then proceed to follow that same scheme in the playoffs. They can't get anything going on offense. They couldn't run the ball. Is that gonna suffice this year?
I think so.
Out?
Oh, I mean, that won't suffice. No, that would not suffice.
They're going to have to have a running game.
They definitely had to change things. Big Ben to be more under center this year. So I'm hearing. So they'll switch things up a little bit from that perspective. And I think that I know James Conner wasn't the full problem, but I definitely think he's a shell of what he was a few years ago when he came in for Le'Veon Bell. But fair. I just think when you got a young spring chicken, Roll Tide, Alabama, you know what I mean, coming, and I just think that he's experienced. He's around that age where, guys really tend to take off. I know he's a rookie, but I think he'll do well, especially in the goal line, where I feel like James Conner wasn't as good as he needed to be. So from that perspective, and I just think that Big Ben, I just think that they've done a lot of things with the offense this year. It's not going to be the same offense that we've seen out there. You've had all season to prepare for this moment. So I feel like the 6.5 is a little much. I am worried about that Bills Mafia. So I don't know if it'll be a best bet from me, but so I'm going to like the Steelers plus the 6.5, considering, how good they've been as a road dog.
If you bring Big Ben under center more often at the age he's at, 35, 38, whatever, how old he is, if he's coming under center more, that should mean they're going to be running the ball more. Because there's no 38-year-old that throws better under center than he does in the gun in this day and age, right?
Correct.
So if we're bringing Big Ben under center more often this year, that means we expect to be able to run the ball better this year.
Gotta run the ball.
Last year they were terrible at running the ball.
Gotta run the ball, the established play action.
We need to see it because Pouncey's gone, DeCastro's gone, Villanueva's. I mean, who's gonna do it for them? They need lots of production from up front in a cast that hasn't been featured, in previous years. So, unless they're going to show up and push guys around, it's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does this year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, to end that, though, I do like the fact that some of these teams, like the Chiefs, the Steelers, to, get some continuity, they did play their guys in the preseason to establish some continuity. So I do like that.
Big Ben did play, that Lions game. He played a little bit too long. I was interested in seeing that.
All right, Keys, how you feel about this game? Bills favored by 6.5 against the Steelers, total 50.5.
I definitely lean like the Steelers in this. I feel like the 6.5 might be a little too much. Just because of how one-dimensional I feel like this Bills offense is going to. I mean, it was very one-dimensional last year, and they were able to have success, but they didn't play the Steelers every game last year either. And I don't think that to your point, the Steelers defense is still good enough there. You can't come in there and be that one-dimensional. Zach Moss coming in banged up. I don't know if he's going to play week 1. They might have to roll out there with just Singletary. And then already they don't run the ball anyway. I think you're going to have to mix it up a little bit more if you're going to come in here and lay that many points against the Steelers. I'm not coming here. I'm pretty sure they're at home. But that's why I like the Steelers in this spot for a lot of reasons that you already echoed. But we have consultants in the chat right now, actually, that are pointing out, Rome, if you like, to your Mike Tomlin 500 question, if you like the Steelers to continue that, you can get them plus 125 over 8.5. So that's something for some people to look out.
And that is exactly what brought that whole line to my attention, was the fact that line was where it was at, and that's where it opened at. And obviously, we have 17 games this year. So with the line being 8.5, that's basically asking if it's plus money on the over. Consensus is this is going to be the first year that they go under 500 in that Mike Tomlin era, because 9 wins obviously will equal an over year in the 17 regular season game. So with the plus money on the over 8.5 and the juice on the under, consensus says, this is going to be the first year that Pittsburgh goes under 500, and I would not be surprised if that happens. I think 2 wins against the Bengals could be chalked up. Those are easy wins. But you got to find 7 other wins in a 17 season game. I don't think they'll find 17 more wins. 7 more wins on that schedule. Got a very soft season last year. They go from the softest season in pro football last year, softest schedule, to one of the hardest ones, and you don't see that very often. So it'll be interesting to see what Pittsburgh can do this year.
All right, Salman, how do you feel about this game? Bills Mafia.
Yeah, part of Mafia. Disclaimer, I think they're gonna be the ones that go all the way this year out the AFC. So I'll say that. But I think I am going to
Ooh.
actually lean with the Steelers here just because I don't like the 6.5. These guys played each other last year. Bills only beat them by 9. It was right after they got the blueprint from us about how to,
Bills only beat them by 9?
only beat them by 9 last year. It was the week after Washington football team, played them. Obviously, the Bills were rolling then, and then they only come out there and kind of struggle to beat them.
Most pro football games are, they're decided 68% of them are decided within one possession. Beat them by 9, that's exceeding expectations.
I think they should have beat them more by 9.
What was the line?
The caliber, I don't got that up right now.
Line wasn't 9. I'm
I
pretty
know
sure.
that for sure.
They exceeded expectations in that game.
The caliber of the Bills and how the Steelers were playing, they should have beat them more by 9. That's all I got. Nonetheless, though, I think to what P was saying, I think it's been the word so far of the day has been continuity. I think the Steelers, they still have it on offense. Every time you look around, they always got plenty weapons. Ben, obviously, like you said, played way too long in the Lions game, but he was throwing it around. He still looked like he had it. So I think in their mindset, they're probably going to come out like, okay, you guys beat us by 9 last year when we were kind of falling off. Let's kind of come out here and prove ourselves and, maybe say that we still are the Steelers. I still think the Bills win. I just don't think they're beating them by 6.5. So I'm going to lean with the Steelers here. Also, that 10-3 of Mike Tomlin, you said him covering the spread in his Oprah just sounds pretty good against that as well, P. So I'm going to lean Steelers here.
All right, Rome, you want to get some closing thoughts on this game?
No, I'm good. I'm not touching this game at all.
All right, Bills should be said under head coach Sean McDermott, 12-7-1 against the spread as a home fave, 26-17-2 against the spread, non-division games, 3-1 against the spread, season debuts. So it's pretty damn good, gentlemen. Pretty damn good.
Who's
All
catching
right.
points in most of those games? Let's just.
That's very true. That's very true. Perspective, wrong for perspective. All right, next game, Minnesota at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by, Minnesota, my bestie Mike Zimmer is favored by 3. Total looks like total is 48. Rome, what do you think about this one?
I'm conflicted. This is our guy, Mike Zimmer, most winning in pro football coach against the spread in the past 5 years of pro football. I think this is a down year for the Vikings. Do I think this is a down year from the jump from week 1 in Cincinnati on the road laying 3? I don't know. I mean, my thing here is 3. You're only 3. So you get the fans back in the stadium. So I guess Bengals, you're in Cincinnati. So I guess we'll give them 2 points for home field advantage Bengals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you give them 2 points, and this line is still what? You're only what, a half point better than the Bengals? Is that what this line's saying?
Basically, yeah.
And that's what you want to lay week 1 with the Vikings, and I'm already thinking they're going to have a down year. I mean, Jefferson is the only offensive weapon. I think Thielen's past his prime, or Smith is out. They can't find a tight end to play football for him. You hear people are sick of Zimmer. You got the vaccine thing going on in the clubhouse. I do not want to touch the Minnesota Vikings week 1. And I damn sure don't want to touch the Cincinnati Bad Bengals. So this is going to be one of my passes. I just hate to use it this early in the slate, but I just can't touch him. I mean, this is our bestie Mike Zimmer. He covers. I'm not laying through with him week 1 this year, and I think that in itself is saying something. How about this? You want to talk about an angle? It's obviously an angle on the regular line. I would tease the Bengals out. That's what I would do.
Yeah, so Rome, I actually kind of agree with you on that one. I love my bestie Mike Zimmer. I'm sure there'll be opportunities where I'm gonna, back him for sure. I got some funny props coming up, but this is not the week. I'm going to actually lean with the Bengals here. Joey covers. We know what Joey Burrow did as he was a starter last year. He covered a lot of games a lot of games late, having to throw the ball. I feel all the sentiments that Rome said. I mean, eventually Mike Zimmer's been there since 2014. He started getting, new players, new regime. People eventually start to get tired of that same messages and same routines. And I think, this could be a down season for them. So I'm not as high on them this year. I do think that, this is not like it should be more points. I agree with you on that, Rome. So like you said, I just think that Cincinnati, I'm going to have to back them there. And I'm looking at Cincinnati last year as an underdog, 8-7 against the spread. We know Joe Burrow was involved in most of that, but he did get hurt, and they still were able to cover some spreads against Pittsburgh. Is one of the games I'm thinking of where they won outright without Joe Burrow. So I'm going to lean with Cincinnati here.
That line is just a little skewed. They covered a game in Houston that was week 17. They were catching 7. Houston should have never been laying 7. Who cares, whatever. But that line should not have been that line. It was week 17. Line just didn't move, and they covered that game. They won outright, actually. So I mean, that didn't count as a cover in my head. It's Houston. Should never been laying 7 in the first place.
Keys, what do you think about this game?
I actually strongly lean basically like the Vikings in this spot. I thought when you were explaining the home field advantage, I thought it went the other way. Like the Vikings are on the road this game, so that isn't it kind of saying that like the Vikings are closer to like a full possession better than them on a neutral field.
I went the wrong way with that, right? That means they're 5 points better than them.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that sounds about right to me with coming at these two teams. We got what still is a very young quarterback. I know he's Joey Covers, but coming off some very serious injuries, I'm the type of guy that I like to see it first before I just say that a guy's back. He's coming off major injuries, and he looked physically okay. I mean, from what you can see coming into the season, but it's always different once you actually get into the real full swing of a game. And I feel like people are kind of a little more down on the Vikings this year because of some of the stuff that they were dealing with last year in terms of the COVID. I feel like people are forgetting how that affected some teams because some players were just out the entire season. Their defense hopefully will be getting a little better this year. Last year they were looking so bad to me because the defense took a major step back. I expect them
Barr being out and some other injuries. They had a lot of cluster injuries on defense.
Exactly, yeah, and from my perspective, the same way people are kind of bullish on the Cowboys and like they're complete opposite on the Vikings. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point.
And I just don't think this Bengals team is good. 3 to me, even on the road, I think that's good enough for me to bet this Vikings team. Like I don't think they're in the same class of team. Unless we're getting what we thought Joe Burrow was going to be before the major injury coming out of college. I mean, we definitely saw it before the injury, but I would like to
question for you on this is this game, does this game tell you anything about the Vikings week 1?
No, not at all. And that is why I was liking a lot of what you said. Like if you do believe that it's going to be kind of a down year for the Vikings, but then you got into like, is this the week where you see that? I don't think so at all.
Right.
I think if it is a letdown, it's going to be another hot start. And then where they completely like shut it down again towards the end of the season. But yeah, that's just my take on this one game. I'm not a believer in the Bengals right now. Not to say that I'm not willing to change that stance, just not right now.
All right, Salman, how do you feel?
I'm kind of feeling the same way that Keith does in this. I'm just gonna believe, sadly, in Kirk and Thielen, which Rome said is washed, and Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, which he didn't mention. But I think them 3 can probably torture this Bengals defense off the week 1. Also do think, like Keith was saying, Guy Burrow had the super crazy injury, obviously. They barely let him throw in the preseason. So it's just like, where's the word that we've been saying today? Continuity with his offensive weapons. We don't know. So I'm going with the Vikings here. 3 points on the road. I'll take it.
We can't get past this game without mentioning the fact that Jamar Chase dropped the targets that we're going through. It's like, oh my God. Bad vibes coming out of the Bengals again. Bad vibes coming out of Cincinnati once again. It's like, no way.
You guys are right. I think I'm thinking too much into it. I'm going another way. Vikings for sure.
Bro, get the
Vikings.
Bengals out of here, man.
And then when I think about it, they spent their first round pick on Jamar Chase, who's just dropping passes all
You
over
didn't
the
get your
place.
quarterback who just got his leg decapitated help.
Yeah,
This is what we've been saying for a whole year and a half. So
and they don't spend money. So yeah, that is pretty cheap.
What
All right.
What are you doing?
So that's how we feel about that one. We know how Mike Zimmer, 19-9 against the spread versus the AFC. Mike Zimmer, the Vikings are under Mike Zimmer, so I did want to mention that. Not too much for the Bengals. Zach Taylor, 2-0 against the spread season debut. So did want to mention that. 49ers at the Lions. 49ers favored by 7.5. Total is 46. Keith, how do you feel about this game?
It's like I'm so upset that you came to me first because it's like I wanted to hear you guys' takes on this game because to me, I'm willing to come at this game completely like a square. 49ers, write it up. You know what I mean? Like it's looking like a screaming 49ers play to me, and that's exactly why I'm afraid of it. The only thing that I would be afraid of is just like that's a lot of points for such a low total. It's just kind of like at that point, so it doesn't matter who you're playing. Like that's too many points to cover that. Like that's such a small total. Like something has to give there. Honestly, I want to hear you guys' take because at the end of this, I'm either going to be super leaning on the 49ers or I'm going to really like a play on this over under. But for right now, this might be, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but this might be my one stay away / I don't have a feel for the Detroit Lions at all. I want to say they're still trash. But this 49ers team is just like, you don't know what's going on right now. Like what I thought they were going to look like coming into the season, this all season is like not what I think is going to be week one. The fact that they're still going with Jimmy G, I'm just kind of off them until they get that situated to me, honestly.
Right. Rome, jump in. What do you think? 49ers favored by 7.5.
I got a really good bet on this. I like it's the 49ers total team over. Who cares about them covering? Who cares what they do? The offense is going to be out there and they're going to be trying to score points. It's a Detroit defense that hasn't really addressed anything defensively. I do like their inside linebacker being J.D. Davis. Outside of that, I mean, who else plays defense for the Detroit Lions as a professional football player?
Is Davis number 40?
It's like 40, 48. It's something ugly.
He went to that 40 number.
Yeah, he's an inside linebacker from the SEC. He can play ball. All that said, I mean, who knows? Who cares what they do? Give me some points. Give me Kyle Shanahan. Give me Jimmy Garoppolo. Give me a little bit of, don't let this get out of hand early because then we can see a little bit of Trey Lance. And at that point, if he gets in the game, they're definitely trying to score and definitely trying to get film on tape. So they're going to be trying to do a lot of things. Run game, I just see them beating them up. This is healthy. It's week one. You got your offensive line. You got your running backs. Let's go. Let's line up. Let me be better than you, and let me score points. I get the totals 47. It is pretty low. Not interested in laying at 7.5. Could see a backdoor cover off some, Jared Goff doing some Jared Goff things. That's actually one of his best late in ball games when the pressure is pretty lax and the coverage is pretty drop on him. So that's when he can excel. I don't think this Detroit offense will be able to muster up many points. I think that's why this total is low. So I understand the hesitancy and wanting to lay it, but I don't think laying the points here and the total are necessarily correlated. I think the total is low because Detroit can't score football points.
All right, Rome, you think this total will be at what? About 30 and a half?
30
team total?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the full game. No, I think at 45 and they're laying 7.5. Let's just start with the opening number because the total has moved around the line, but the line hasn't moved. That being, this line opened at 7 and 47. So San Francisco laying the 7 at 47. Now it's at 7.5, but the total's at 45. That's a discrepancy of 1.5 points that aren't accounted for on the line. That's just the total moving down, which means that line is moving down on the Detroit Lions total team, which actually would indicate more of a gap in the 49ers being able to cover this line.
Right, it does.
You see what I'm saying? It's saying that Detroit's total team is going to be lower. The actual line hasn't moved itself, so the line's still going to be covered. Total team's going to be lower. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get it.
I don't really even want to touch that. I just, like I said, I think their total team is going to be around 24. I would say 24, 24 and a half. Probably they would probably put the hook at 24 and a half. Maybe even money at 24 and a half. A lot of books. I think this started with baseball. I'm not sure if this is going to be happening this year in football season, but we saw it a lot in preseason. They aren't moving lines. They're just moving money around lines. You'll have a line at minus 120, and then the other side's the even money, as opposed to 110, 110 on the even sides. I like the 49ers total team over at any line here up to 25, I would say, because at that point, I think you're not getting the value on the line. But I do like the team total on the 49ers here. I think it would be 23 and a half to 24 and a half. That's where I play it.
All right, Salman, what do you think about this game? 49ers favored by 7.5.
I really don't have too much for it. What's disappointing me is I don't know what to feel about these 49ers anymore. Obviously, I was an NFC West guy, still am. These guys, I don't know, man. Like, are we going to be healthy again? Are we going back to form? The whole quarterback situation, I have nothing for. But for some reason, I'm a Dan Campbell guy, so I'm kind of interested to see what these Lions do. I think.
What reason is that?
I think I'm the only Dan Campbell guy. I watch a show every Tuesday. He comes on there a few times. I like his bravado. I like his energy. The kneecap thing really got me. So I want to see what this guy can do.
I like all the things that you said you like about him. I just don't like him as a pro football coach.
Did you read the article?
Which one?
I know PEO, forgive me. I know we don't plug other publications here, but there is a very interesting Ringer article that deep dives Dan Campbell and just like how polarizing he is. And he's definitely a character. It's some quotes in there. You got to read it if you are a Dan Campbell guy. So.
Bro, sorry to pee again, but one story they were talking about was like, bro, this guy went to a wedding or something, it was a concert, got extremely drunk at a concert. The next day was Mother's Day. He told his kids, I'm not coming home today for Mother's Day. And he just continued his weekend just living life as a drunk, coked up man. I'm like, yo, I like this guy. I want to see what this guy can do for these Lions, man. So I said all to say, I have nothing for this game. I want to see what the Lions do. The 49ers, I don't know what I'm getting from them. So this is going to be my stay away here.
Henry Ford is rolling in his grave right now.
This game, while we don't really have much for the Lions, this game does to me, close your ears, Rome. This is a huge fantasy impact game to me. A lot can happen in this game that can shift. That can shift the fantasy season. I'm just for people that care out there, look out.
Yeah, I actually have a like on this game. I like the 49ers minus the 7.5. I think when you talk about like level of competition, continuity, I think the most telling thing this entire offseason was the 49ers trading up assets to pick a backup quarterback. They understand, like, if they're healthy, they're one of the best teams in the league, and they play in one of the best divisions in the league. And I just feel like you're going against a Lions team, and this is similar. First of all, when we talk about numbers, I love 7.5. 7.5 usually scares people. That hook right after the 7, it's like it usually scares people off. But I've seen
that's when I want to lay it.
That's when I want to lay it. That's exactly how I feel. And they're landing on this road. I feel the Lions is possibly going to be one of the top 3 pick this year. As far as their receivers, they don't have them. And the 49ers, their win total, I believe, is at 10.5. This is one of the games where you absolutely have to win. You've been playing. I love week 1 specifically because a couple of years ago, I bet on the Ravens. Why? I just knew Lamar Jackson. They stamped him. He was the quarterback, not the Jalen Hurts shit show. Like a couple of weeks ago, they just stamped him. They stamped Lamar Jackson that full year before. They had the entire offseason to build around him, stuff like that. This is a team that picked a backup quarterback because they understand they have the Boses of the world. They have the Veretts of the world. Jimmy G, as much as people want to talk about him, this guy was a throwaway from winning the Super Bowl. All right. So as much as people want to talk about him, he's a valuable quarterback. He's going to play. Trey Lance is still raw. The spread would not be 7.5 with Trey Lance out there. I think they're going to run the ball efficiently with 2 to 3 guys, each getting about 13 carries, just like they did on the Jets at the Jets last year. They came out. It was the first play. Raheem Mostert goes for like 90 fucking yards. It's just, there's just, certain calibers, and I'm betting with a Shanahan or a good run game against a Lions team that was 29th in the league last year against the run. Come on now. I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm going to back Shanahan minus the 7.5. And coming from the NFC West, you've had all season to prepare for these lines. And Jared Goff, who they've seen over and over for the past 4 years. So I'm going to back the 49ers minus the 7.5.
Why do you like that more than their total team over with less liability?
I mean, I think they can score points, but I do understand they like to run the ball. So, I mean, you know, I think it's going to be running, you know, defense. I don't know. I really didn't really get into the total. I mean, the team total when I was
my angle there, though?
I mean, I get your angle. And
I don't have to worry about Jared Goff. I don't have to worry about none of that. 29th best run defense is the Lions last year.
Correct.
We're going to run the ball on them. We're going to get our points. And if they cover, they cover. But we're going to score more than 25 points in this ball game.
Yeah, and that's why the number is what it is, 46. So that's fair enough. I feel like we spent enough time on this game, though. So, but yeah, I have a like on the 49ers minus 7.5. Could be a possible best bet. You guys hear that? Where's Rome? Where's Rome? So all those who don't know, Where's Rome? It's the contest we're doing this season. Rome, if you know, he's all over the place sometimes. You might catch him in Atlanta. You might catch him in Auburn, Mississippi. You never know where he might be. So we're doing a contest where you can win a cash prize. Tell us where Rome is. Email us at anteupconsulting@gmail.com. And yeah, so here's Rome. Where's Rome this week? All right. So there's Rome. Next game, Cardinals at the Titans. Titans favored by 3. Total is 51.5. Start with Salmon on this one. Got your guy King Henry. They're favored by 3 here. Kyler Murray. How do you feel about this game, Salmon?
Yeah, again, I really haven't even looked at these slates this week. But just thinking and looking at this right now, I'm gonna probably just like the Titans here. I'm gonna be that guy. Honestly, I like both teams. I know we were discussing the Cardinals a couple weeks ago. You saying they're not gonna have a good year. I think they are. I just don't like the cross-divisional matchup for them week 1. Going on the road, different time zone. And, Titans, man, let's show off the new weapon in Julio. Cardinal secondary, I don't know who's back there besides Buddha. Butler's gone now. Patrick Peterson, the wash guy, is gone now. So who's going to check?
Who we're banking on? Malcolm Butler?
No, I'm not banking on him. I told you he's a sports car, but I'm just letting you know they're down a body because of this. So who's going to check Julio? Who's going to check AJ? Who's going to stop Henry? Like, who's doing all this on the Cardinals? I'm going to just go with the Titans. Also want to say that as far as the Bills, as I said earlier, I think it'll be between the Titans and the Bills this year out the AFC. So this is how good I feel about the Titans this year. But tighten up for this week 1 matchup, man.
All right. So you said you lean?
Like the Titans here.
Like the Titans. All right. He likes the Titans minus the 3 at home. Rome, how do you feel about this game? Titans minus 3.
I lean with the over here, 49. The Titans offense that I think is similar to the Ravens this year. They're going to have to – okay, Arthur's gone. We got it. Arthur Smith is gone. Bad offensive coordinator. I don't know how he fumbles forward. He gets the head coaching job in Atlanta. I don't think they're going to be too good this year. Another story in itself.
Hold on. He was a bad offensive coordinator for the Titans?
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, he wasn't a good play caller. He was fortunate to have a guy who no one wanted to tackle, and he handed the ball off to him 30 plus times a game. And for that, he ran play action off of it, which is so easy to do when you got somebody that nobody wants to tackle.
AJ Brown.
It's just not. A lot of things are due to Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill's success is a direct correlation of Derrick Henry. Ryan Hill's success as a straight drop back quarterback, if you look at the numbers, are not good. His numbers are really good off play action, and that's about it. So Tennessee, this is an offense that's going to have to refound themselves. But what are they going to do? They're going to go back to Derrick Henry. This is a Mike Vrabel defensive-led football team that he's going to be a guy that, we're going to ground and pound. We're going to stop him with defense. We're going to run all over him. We're going to be the bigger bully team. They've been that for 2 years. The same thing that I think the Ravens are going to have to do this year that the Titans are also going to have to do is they're going to have to diversify their offense. These are 2 teams that know that they're in the playoffs, right? These are two playoff teams in the beginning of the season. You got the Jags, you got the Texans. Beat the Colts, you're in. Wild card or win the division, you're in, right? And that's what the Titans are seeing. So at this point, Titans are Super Bowl or bust. You could honestly say the Titans could be a Super Bowl or bust team with the division that they're playing in. With that said, why are we going to do what we know works? This is a year where the Ravens know, the Titans know they can run up and down the field on anybody and they can beat up the better, the worser team with better offensive linemen and better run game. So I think it'll be a lot more, cute football being played on the Tennessee Titans and Baltimore Ravens part this year. That being drop back, more shots down the field, opening up the offense. Like I said, Arthur Smith is gone out of Tennessee. It's to be a new offense coordinator, new system. I think it'll be a lot of Derrick Henry. I think, there's no way that you don't hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 20 plus times a game. However, you got Julio Jones and AJ Brown on the outside, and that in itself is a mismatch. So if you add all those components together, this is a team that I think will score more points. I'm not sure if they'll be more successful, but they should be. But the hesitancy on them being more successful is, my gauge of Ryan Tannehill, because Ryan Tannehill's numbers off of play action are amazing. Like I said, off of straight dropbacks are not that great. And that's due to Derrick Henry's success. So if they want to come out and be cute, I can see a lot of points being put up because they're going to be spreading the ball out. Jonnu Smith, we know obviously is gone, but Julio and AJ on the outside, I think will be, viable targets. And then you go on the opposite side, Cliff Kingsbury, you can't pay him to run the ball, more than 40% of the game. So, you're going to have Kyle Murray out there slinging the ball. And so I think points at a line at 49 are going to come, way quicker than we think they will. I think 49 is a pretty low number for a matchup like this. I think it's low because I think it'll be a lot of running on Derrick Henry's part, which I do agree with. But this is week one. Like I said, no one's trying to just get in and out of week one. It's a show. It's an entertainment thing in itself. I see points here. I like the over 49.
All right, Keys, how do you feel about this game? Titans favored by 3, totals 51.5 against the Cardinals.
I have nothing for the line. I agree with Rome when I actually love the over here. I guess for more, I kind of disagree with some of the points, but we came around to the same conclusion and we love the over. More so the fact that I hate both of these defenses. I don't even have to really deep dive the offense. I love both of the offenses and I hate both of the defenses. Both of these offenses were awesome last year. I don't know, I don't know if the plays. To me, handing it off to Derrick Henry sounds like an awesome play call. So I'm not really going to indict the guy for that and say he fell forward or anything. But I do know that Mike Vrabel, while he is a good coach, that Titans defense was ass last year, specifically against the pass, which you just mentioned. Kyler Murray is going to do a lot of. So at 49, I really love the over in this game. I don't think either defense can really stop either offense. The only thing that makes me a little worried about that is Derrick Henry and the fact that I guess if the Titans wanted to, I could see them running clock. But from what I saw last year, they believe in Tannehill enough, and they definitely have the weapons on the outside to, just to score some points, which they did. So yeah, I love the over here. Not too excited about taking the side, but if I had to, I would definitely lean the Titans here. Just get the 3 at home. I do believe that them to be the better team. You're definitely stamp playoff team. You will hope and think that the Cardinals are. I don't know if they're set in stone a playoff team. But yeah,
I don't think they go over their win total this year. I don't think.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I don't think they both are. I mean, I think they both are coming into both teams are thinking they're playoff.
How about this? I think the Rams aren't going to be as good as people think they're going to be, but I think they're still going to be better than the Cardinals. And the Cardinals.
Okay. I'd like the Cardinals to be. I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to be second in that division. That division is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna like the Titans minus the 3 here. The statistics against the spread statistics actually don't really line up with me. I mean, Mike Vrabel, 6-8-1 against the spread as a home fave since 2018, 16-17-1 against the spread in non-division games during that span. But when it just comes down to talent, I just think the Titans have more talent offensively. We know they can put up points. We know it's going to be tough for the Cardinals defenders to stop Derrick Henry, to tackle him. And then I think they did get better defensively this offseason. The Titans did. They definitely addressed. They didn't re-sign the Jonnu Smiths and Corey Davis of the world. They went out and got Jack Rabbit Jenkins. They drafted Caleb Fairley out of Virginia Tech. And then they also signed Bud Dupree from the Steelers. So I think they improved. So they definitely addressed their issues. And we know Mike Vrabel is a defensive guy. When I think about the Cardinals upgrades, J.J. Watt and A.J. Green, I think those two guys are probably over the hill at this point. So you're more like kind of wishing things will happen. So I'm gonna back the Titans here. I mean, they're only favored by 3. So this is telling me that. Is this basically telling me the Cardinals are better? I mean, is no home field involved here? It's basically telling me Cardinals are a better team.
Can any of us name a Cardinals cornerback? Just one.
I cannot. No, I cannot. No.
I named the only one I knew, but he got hurt, so he gone.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just back the Titans here, minus the 3 at home. I mean, they're I just think they're gonna come out, establish the run, all that good stuff. And Hopkins has to deal with Jack Rabbit and vice versa. So I think that might not be as easy as they expect. So yeah, I'll take that. Not too many. They can't cover all their guys right now either. So all right, next game is Seattle Seahawks at the Colts. Colts favored. Hold on, what is the spread of this game? Because I've seen some.
I see 2.5 at most books.
All right, so but I see some places where the Colts are favored by 3. That's the book that we usually use. But in other places, Seattle's favored by 2.5. We're not going to mention that book, but Rome, I just want to get your thoughts off that because the book that we use.
Favored by 2.5 at most books.
Correct. So we'll go with that line. We'll go with Seattle minus the 2.5. Rome, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the discrepancy might lie in the fact that Indianapolis Colts with the COVID issues that they've been having recently, might have made this line flip. And some of these lines open in July. So
yeah,
who knows what's happened? It's been a lot going on with the Colts in the past 8 weeks. I think with Seattle, with the mainstay that you have in that ball club. And specifically with Russell Wilson, really, because everything else around him has changed. But I think we're starting to get some new faces on defense and a new identity on defense. I mean, Bobby Wagner is obviously the mainstay, but we also go up front. We go to Jaron Reed, former Alabama defensive tackle, and we go to the back end, Jamal Adams. So they have a player at each level, I think, that can very much so contribute, specifically in these out-of-division games. Games like this against the Indianapolis Colts. We know they got Nelson on the front line, but who's in and out with COVID on the Colts right now? So you get a Colts team, a new regime, and specifically a new starting quarterback. I'm not too high on Carson Wentz at this point in his career, and I'm also not too high on the Seattle offense early in the year. This is an offense that really makes a lot of their nuggets and get a lot of their averages up later in the year. I lean on the on the under on this game. Line opened at 52, now down to 48.5, and I'm kind of trending with that line movement. Lean with the under here. Line, like I said, it's at 2.5 now. Seattle, they're laying it on the road. This line opened at the Colts laying 2 earlier in July. So I don't really want too many parts to the side. I do lean to the under. I think it'll be, slow Mageddon for the Colts coming out of the gate in terms of offensive production. And then, like I said, Russell Wilson and, what he has on offense. We know what he has on the outside with DK and Tyler Lockett in the slot, but who's going to be the premier running back this year? The Seattle offense is known for running the ball when they can't run it. I don't know. They love to do it. They hand the ball off to a DJ Dallas or Chris Carson or Rashawn Penny or somebody until they get them that 100-yard game, and then they feel validated. They need a premier offensive back. I don't think they have it, but I think they'll stick to their same game plan that they've continued to have under Pete Carroll, and that is forcing the ball to a running back that doesn't necessarily deserve a starting position in a top 10 pro football offense, ran by a top 10 pro football quarterback. I think they'll hinder themselves early in this week. Give me the under at 48.5 on this game.
Yeah, for me, For me, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna lean with the Seahawks here. We saw them actually go on a roll last year and win a game outright. Against the Falcons. They're same situation week 1. They're pretty good on the road as well. They're much better on the road than they have been at home against the spread last 4 years. The Seahawks are, so I'll take that. I think they're going to have some tweaks on offense. I'm not too sure what they are, but I know defensively, their defensive line is better this year. I know the Colts have a good offensive line, but I mean, this is a defense that held opponents under 95 rushing yards per game last year. They were third in the league. Seahawks were. So they're going to make the Colts one-dimensional. I think Carson Wentz is starting, but if he has to be one-dimensional, he's shown in the past that he's not good, especially if he gets pressure in his face. So I'll take the Seahawks minus the 2.5 here. Soundman, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna. No surprise that I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here, but I'm gonna ride with the Seahawks here on the road. It's a dog here, so could be a Soundman special. But like everyone's been saying, Colts, man, all the COVID issues, Carson Wentz and his best center or lineman, I don't know if he plays center or not, but Quentin obviously both had the same injury. Like, are they gonna play on Sunday? Who knows? They shouldn't even be back this fast. And as Rome said, you got these 3 guys on the Seahawks defense, and it seems like it's been a while since they had these guys at each level. Obviously, you wrapped up Jamal. I think they just come out, go to Indy, and they're just flying around. Also agree with Rome saying that the Seahawks start off slow. I mean, last year, your guy Russell Wilson was in MVP conversations for like the first however many weeks because of how fast the offense came out. So I do think some points can get scored, but the Colts defense is pretty damn good as well. So I kind of do like the under for Rome as well. But regardless, I'm taking the Seahawks to win outright on the road.
All right. Keith, what do you think about this game? Seahawks favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I was really loving the under on the sheet. That was 52, and then Rome burst my bubble and let me know that it already came down to 48.5. So I'm not as bullish on that, although I do still like it to go under. But in terms of choosing the side, I'm gonna lean Seahawks here just because of all the uncertainty going on with the Colts. Like, we think Carson Wentz is gonna start. We think an amount of players are gonna play due to COVID. We don't really know. I do really like their defense if healthy this year. I think they're obviously going to be one of the better defenses. So that's why I was liking leaning on the under. They're pretty tough to pass against, and that's obviously the Seahawks' strength, I would say. They want to establish the run, but whether or not a team allows them to do it is not necessarily. I don't think the Seahawks have any say in that in any particular game, although they do like to try. But yeah, like the Colts just have too much going on right now to really be betting with them. So I'm going to go with the lean Seahawks here, just 2.5.
All right, so next game, Chargers -1 at the Washington football team. Total is 44.5. I'll start with me on this one, gentlemen. I like the Washington football team plus the 1 point. So I'll just take them on the money line plus money. No, actually, I'll take the plus 1 point because you never know how that goes. So I'll take the plus 1 point, also sprinkle on the money line. But also wanted to just plug in Trap or Dad podcast, which is a local NFL Washington football team podcast. I have a plug on there weekly. We're going to just give out a prop bet and how we feel about the game. This game specifically, I said I like the Washington football team plus the 1. I think as far as the Washington football team, the defense, we know what they are. They're stout, going to be able to get towards the quarterback. They were 5-2 against the spread as a home dog in 2020. Got the fans coming back. I think that'll boost them up. Last time the fans were there, that team was not very good at all. New regime, new things happening. Ravon Rivera, 5-4-1 against the spread, season debut games, whatever that means. But as far as the Chargers, I think that, we know Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. Looks like he's projected to do great things. But I don't think they learned how to win last year under Anthony Lynn. There were games they were supposed to win. I was watching them. I'm just like, what the hell is this? And they just couldn't close out games.
Before Anthony Lynn.
You said what?
That was them before Anthony Lynn. It's just
Correct.
been Barber's MO for the past 7 years.
Yes, it's sort of their history, and I just don't think they learned how to like necessarily put away games. I think this could be a bit of a struggle for them. I can see the Washington football team winning this game outright. Like I said, 5-2 against the spread as a home dog last year. Defensive mentality, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think that he's going to be able to throw the ball against this defense. As long as you can protect against Joey Bosa. I forget which Bosa. I think it's Nick Bosa there. So as long as you can,
Joey's in LA.
okay, as long as you can protect against the Joey Bosa of the world, I think they'll be all right. Fitzpatrick can get the ball out quick. That's what he does. So I think offensively, Washington football team is better. Defensively, they're solid still, and the Chargers haven't learned how to win yet. So I'm going to take the Washington football team on the money line and plus the 1 point. Soundman, what do you think? Washington football team.
Completely disagree with basically everything you just said. Let me start by saying, let me see where I want to start with what you said. Let me start by saying, for one, Chargers went outright. That's how I feel about us. Preseason and I've been saying this to everyone. Literally watched every single snap of all of our preseason games. We don't look cohesive. It doesn't look like there's continuity with my first team. And my defense was looking nervous. It's funny you say the last time that we had fans in the stadium, we looked terrible. We did look terrible about a week or so ago when we had fans in the stadium for the preseason game. And rookies like Chase Young or whoever, or Cam Curls of the world, this is their first times having fans. And it happened during the preseason, and they looked terrible. So I'm pretty sure our defense would be good. I didn't see anything from this Ryan Fitzpatrick guy that's supposed to be the guy this year. I've never believed in him. I'm not going to believe in him now. He's going to have to win me over, and I don't think he's winning me over in week 1 against the Chargers. Obviously, I mean, who are the Chargers? Like, they're not this great of a team. I think if we would play this game on the road, we probably win, but I think we're going to be nervous for the 1 o'clock kickoff back in Landover for like a regular season game. I think we fumble the bag and we lose this game somehow, some way. So I'm taking the Chargers here with the 1. It'll probably be more than a 1-point win. Go Bolts, man.
All right, Ron, what are your thoughts on this game? Justin Herbert, I know he's your guy.
Justin Herbert's my guy. I have nothing for this game, though.
All right. Keith, what do you think about this game? Washington football team, Chargers. Chargers favored by 1.
Had to pull up for this one. I'm ready to ride. Down with the Chargers. You know, I have a little bit of fan in me too. And at this point, I've conceded the Chiefs. They can do whatever they want. They're on their own stratosphere. But I'm looking at the Chargers. We're coming for you this season. And this game is going to be pivotal for us. I think that front seven in Washington, this is just all emotion speaking. I think that front seven is going to give Herbert some problems. He's going to get exposed. And this is just like all – this is like – exposed. This is all emotion speaking. But no, seriously, I do like the Washington football team to show some backbone here. This is a game that I think we can learn something about the teams. We were talking about what do we learn? Whoever was playing the Bengals, nothing. You don't learn anything playing the Bengals. But I think this is a game that we will look to say possibly like that was kind of shaping for one of these teams. So it's going to be one I'm going to be looking at for sure. I don't really have a feel on the line, but I'm going to be rooting like hell for the Washington football team.
All right, should be noted. Chargers 5-3 against the spread as a road team last season. Next game, all right, let's get through these rest of these games quickly, gentlemen. Jets at Panthers. Panthers favor about 4. Total is 43. Start with me. I guess I like the Panthers in this spot. I say I guess because I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, but I think the defense is much improved this year. A rookie quarterback, going to be able to put him in certain situations. I like the quarterback actually, but he throws some really crazy passes, some lasers. So I can see some deflected passes. Brian Burns getting to the quarterback. So and Carolina 7-3 against the spread, non-division games last year. So Matt Rule. So I like the Panthers in this spot. Rome, what do you think?
Yeah, big Zach Wilson fan, favorite quarterback out of this class. But here in this matchup where the Panthers are now laying 5. Really like the Panthers total team over here. This is a just defense that, got rid of Greg Williams last year. So now they're having a whole new Robert Saleh type of changeover defense. I'm not looking to, I don't think it'll necessarily be direct, showing of what Robert Saleh's entire career will be here at the Jets. But I do think here again out of the gate, starting on the road against a Matt Rule offense and a Joe Brady passing game offense that has some continuity between Sam Darnold, Terrace Marshall, DJ Moore, and Christian McCaffrey healthy now, is a team that's going to be able to break out, I think, and score some type of points. With the low total here around 45 right now, line around 5. That means the Panthers, total team is around 21, 23 and a half, within that range, within that 2-point range. I think the Panthers go over that number at home here. I think they get the win. Not too interested in laying the chalk here with Carolina at home, but how about this? I would much rather lay it with a Matt Rule offense and a defense, like you said, backing with Brian Burns, as opposed to a rookie quarterback on the road in week 1 and a new head coach on the road in week 1. So give me the Panthers team total over. Like I said, I like the number anywhere between 23 and a half and 25. Anything after that, I'd rather lay the chalk, as ironic as that sounds. But anything higher than that, it just screams Panthers for me in terms of total team, because I don't see the Jets scoring more than 21 points in this game. So give me the Panthers, total team over.
All right, Soundman, what do you think? Panthers -4. Well, going up to 5 now. It looks like 5 is now the number.
I just want to say this looks like a game that Zach Wilson kid can go out there and win on the road. There's something about that kid. He's got some spunk to him, but I'm staying away from this game.
He's the best quarterback in that.
Just said he's not even scoring 21 points, though, so I'm kind of confused. But I'm staying away from this game. I can see this kid winning this game, though. I'm staying away, though.
All right, Keys, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with the Panthers here. This just seems like although I'm bullish on the Jets, and by that, I mean, I don't think they're going to be the absolute worst team in the league. This is a very much so a Jets game they lose. They're on quote, the media's on quote saying, it could be Darnold again, talking about other people. It's like, yeah, Sam Darnold's about to come in here and beat you week 1 because you're the Jets after you just did all of that.
It did ship them off. This is that revenge game.
It's like, of course Sam Darnold's gonna come here and beat.
I forgot about that whole narrative.
It's the Jets, and you just did all of that to get, it's like, yeah,
right.
The boy's gonna come back and beat you because you're the Jets. Sorry.
All right. So there we go. A couple likes on the Panthers and a stay away from Soundman. So next game, Jaguars at the Texans. Total is 45. Jaguars currently favored by 3, 2.5 at some spots. I will start with me. Possible best bet for me. I like the Texans plus the 3. When we talk about week 1 division dogs, I know everybody's looking like the Texans. Who the hell do they have? I know it's going to be probably a rough year for the Texans. But when we talk about a rookie quarterback coming in here, Trevor Lawrence, I know he's the hottest thing since sliced bread, but I just think that he could struggle against a Texans defense who's acquired some, linebackers this past season. I know they got the one guy from Cleveland. What is this guy's name? I know I had to pull him up. No, that's the wrong guy. I forget his name. I don't have his name in front of me. He's from Cleveland though. Look him up for me. Google him. But he had he's had seasons where he's had 100+ tackles, a couple seasons hurt, and he had about 80 last year. So I think he can come in. Lovie Smith is running the defense there in Houston now. Tyrod Taylor's named the starting quarterback. And when you just got a quarterback who has never played against a starting competition in the NFL, I'm going to back the division dog plus the 3 points at home. I mean, this Jaguars team can't block anybody. And I just think the Texans could come out here and possibly steal this game. And just a team full of veterans. Tyrod Taylor's not going to turn the ball over. He never does. It's possibly, I believe, Jordan Akins. You could possibly look for a prop bet in receptions. He usually gets the ball to tight ends.
A tight end,
Jordan Akins. He's a tight end for the Houston Texans.
Tyrod
Taylor doesn't like to check the ball down to running backs. He would rather throw it to the tight end. If you look last year when he started for the Chargers, Hunter Henry had about 8 receptions that game. So this is what I'm saying. Tyrod Taylor does not turn the ball over. You're getting a Trevor Lawrence, who looked great last time we saw him. That was against the Dallas Cowboys backup defense. They didn't play any starters. So I'm going to back the Texans here. Division dog, week 1, bunch of veterans. Lovie Smith ran defense, and a veteran quarterback is not going to turn the ball over. So give me the Texans plus the 3 here. Soundman, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm going to back you here. I didn't check this out. I didn't know they were playing at all. But I think what sold me here is, the Tyrod factor versus the
He
Sunshine.
doesn't turn the ball
Doesn't
over.
turn the ball over. He's probably pissed off because the last time he went out to play football, they almost killed him. He hasn't played since then. So it's like, bro, let me come out here and let's play, bro. F. Watson, this is my team now, I guess, until we figure this out. And I personally haven't liked what I've been seeing from Trevor Lawrence so far. I don't care. I think they might Joe Burrow him. He needs some protection out there. Nonetheless, though, Tyrod, go win this game, man, for the punctured lung, man. I'm with you, P.
All right, Rome, you look like you're over your state of disgust. Talk to us.
I don't have anything for this guy.
All right, you got nothing for this game. Keith, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I honestly I had something for this game, but I do just at the end of the day echo your sentiments, P. I'm not high on the Texans, but I do think people are unnecessarily just written them all the way out. They do still have a professional quarterback back there, Tyrod Taylor, who doesn't turn the ball over. Not everyone's favorite quarterback, but he doesn't turn the ball over, like you said. And they're playing what I think is going to be another bad team. That's already dealing with injuries. So yeah, I like them in the division to cover. Home dog. It's like, come on, man, show us some respect.
And yeah, and last thing I want to mention is about the Texans. Both of their offensive line, the offensive tackles, Tunsil and what's the other kid out of it was Alabama State? I think he went to wrong. They play pretty well together. So I'm gonna take the Texans plus the 3. Could be a possible best bet for me. Next game, Browns at the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 6 currently. 6.5 is some spots I think I've seen. Total's 52.5. Ron, what do you think?
I like the first half over on this game. Don't like either side. Don't want any points with either side. This offense, obviously, that we know in Kansas City, that will be explosive. Give me 10 points from them offensively in the first half. Give me, 2 touchdowns scored somewhere in between on either side right there. And now we get over that mark of 53.5. That first half line is going to be around 21.5. I think we get about 24 points in that first half. These are 2 offenses that are bringing back all their starters and all types of continuity in terms of offensive line and mesh in the passing game. You add Odell Beckham to the fray in terms of what they have going on in Cleveland right now. I see points. I see points early. Give me the first half over 21.5, like it up to 23.5. I think that's a huge discrepancy. So, with the line sitting right now, I see it at 53. You cut that in half. That's what, 21.5-ish. So, I see more than 22 points being scored in that first half of that game. In the first half over on the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, for me, it's actually my stay away. I did want to mention that the Chiefs 3-0 against the spread season opener since Mahomes debuted in 2018. But yeah, I just think it's a lot of offensive line.
They never laid 6 points.
Yeah, correct. But I think it's a lot of offensive line things happen. I think the Browns are a much better team, continuity. So it's a stay away for me in this one. Keith, what do you think about this game? Chiefs -6.
At -6, I have a slight lean on the Chiefs to cover, but just because of how explosive the offense is, obviously. I mean, the mindset for betting the Chiefs, I feel like it has been the same for years. Their explosive offense, you don't expect the other offense to keep up with them. Well, I do, and the only reason I'm picking them though is because I'm saying I can't stay away from any games. This would definitely be one that I would want to stay away. Kind of see what both teams, specifically what the Browns are looking like this year. I do like the over in this game. I do think there are going to be a lot of points scored, as Rome mentioned as well.
All right, Soundman, what do you think? Chiefs favored by 6.
Yeah, if I didn't use my 2 stayaways already, I would have stayed away from this as well. I'm randomly going to lean with the Browns, though. I do want to point out that I think this is going to be one of the better games to watch this opening weekend. I'm pretty sure this is the 4:00 Tony Romo covered game, so this should be a good game. And I'm going to lean Browns here just because I do remember one stretch of last season, the Chiefs weren't covering, and I'm just going to believe in the Browns offense. I'm a huge believer in a resurgence of Odell this year with Jarvis, obviously Kareem and Chubb and all of them. I think, like Keith said, you just got to keep up with the points with the Chiefs, and with that offense, I'm pretty sure they can. So I think they can, maybe take the L by like 3 or 4 points when they get all said and done. So I'm going to just lean Browns here.
All right, so we got some leans, got a couple, we got likes on the totals. And stay away from me on the Chiefs -6. I need to see that offensive line before I bet with them.
Are the Chiefs getting that? Oh, sorry. Are the Chiefs getting that full 3 points for the home field advantage here?
I think they should at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So we're saying they're only 3 points better than the Browns, though.
Yeah, the Browns are solid offense.
I mean, the Browns were 10-6 last year, and to be honest,
It's solid, but the Chiefs.
The Browns were I would say the Browns were the third best team in the AFC last year, behind the Chiefs and the Bills. I think they were better than the Ravens. And then you go back to the Browns last year, they're 10-6, sure, but they had, basically 3 games played in type of monsoon type of conditions. That one against the Raiders at home, when
they
lost 10-3 or 10-7, something crazy like that in monsoon type of conditions. I would love to see what that game happened if it was in regular conditions. So obviously an L is an L, right? Mm-hmm. But I do, without that game, there were plenty of teams in the AFC that didn't play in the type of game, a wind gusting game like that. They also played in a game just very similar to that against the Texans and the Eagles last year in Cleveland. So 3 terrible weather games for the Cleveland offense. That's why I'm very high on Baker Mayfield this year. I think he had, you can't make excuses, but what you can do is simply look for it as to what it was. He played in 3 games at home that were worse than any conditions that any other AFC quarterback played in last year, and his numbers were still up to par and very near those the elite AFC quarterbacks, that being Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So I look for the Browns to be pretty strong this year, and specifically strong in terms of offensive. I go back to last year. We talked about their offense.
All right, Ron, come on. Let's move on. It's Baker. We get it. You tell them to pick him up in your fantasy leagues. Ron pick up Baker. That's
big on that Cleveland offense, man.
All right, so next game, the Dolphins at the Patriots. Patriots favored about 2.5. This one was real tough for me. I actually was leaning towards the first half under. Looks like it's went down a little bit, but I just think both teams are going to try to establish the run, play field position. Dolphins picked up Mike Polarity, who's like the Panthers punter for a few seasons, but he's all about like ball position, stuff like the field position rather. So I just think that both teams are going to try to run the ball, establish the run, and protect their quarterbacks. So I'll take the first half under there. It should be mentioned, Bill Belichick, what is he now? 3-8 against the spread versus his former assistant since 2017. So I want to put that out there. But Keith, what do you think about this game? Patriots -2.5.
I'm super bullish on the Patriots this year. Not so much on the Dolphins, honestly. I like the 2.5, and I really like the over if it's still at 45.5. I feel like that's a little too low, especially with the. I hate to say that this is a plus. But you have to be honest with yourself. It is in terms of the Patriots offense scoring, them going with the younger quarterback. We all saw how hard it was for them to struggle, how kind of very choppy that offense looked under Cam. They were definitely grinding a lot of those games out. I do think they're going to get back to more of like what we're known to see from the Patriots, just in terms of like what they're running in offense and like just kind of how the team looks with all the people coming back from COVID on defense. So give me the Patriots here -2.5. I feel like whenever if you can like do a Patriots, do they cover -2.5 versus the Dolphins throughout my whole life, you're probably shooting something like 90%. So I'll just keep riding that until it goes for longer than one season.
All right, Simon, what are your thoughts? Patriots -2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump with the Patriots in the 2.5 here as well. And it's pretty much strictly the Mac Jones thing. Just watching him in preseason, it just looked like their offense was a little better. I think he'll throw those balls to his 2 tight ends versus Cam. Probably wasn't gonna throw the ball to the 2 new tight ends. So it should work out in the Patriots' favor. And I don't believe in Tua at all. So no, we're not gonna ride with him. 2.5 Patriots. Yeah.
All right, should be mentioned. Dolphins 8-4 division games under head coach Brian Flores. 0-2 in season debuts. Ron, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, not too much for the regular line here. Not too much for the total here. I think if you are making a teaser card, I think it would be worth teasing the Dolphins up to 10 on a 6.5 or 7-point teaser. As I can see, I see some 3.5, some 3s out there. So if you catch 3.5 and you could tease that up to 10, I think that's a good line. I think the 9.5 is just as good. I don't see Mac Jones and the Patriots getting out there with a 10-point victory. If they do, it'd be interesting to see how they do that with the total at 43. So.
All right, next game, Packers versus Saints in Jacksonville. Packers favored by 4. Total is 50. Packers 9-4 in season debuts under Aaron Rodgers. Saints are 5-9-1 season debuts under head coach Sean Payton. Keith, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, you blessing me. But I honestly, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and like the Packers here. To me, my very surface analysis of it is I'm just looking at these two quarterbacks. And I don't think that's what the Saints want to do at all, is get into a shootout. But when you're playing against Aaron Rodgers and that offense that I think is going to be high powered this year, I mean, I hate to echo sound man, but the last dance, I don't know if he's gonna do all of that and start the year off with an L to Jameis Winston. I just don't see that in Aaron Rodgers, in his cards. So I'm gonna ride with the Packers here. I think they're gonna be pretty tough this year.
All right, Rome, thoughts on this game? Packers minus 4.
I think it's interesting. This game will be played in Jacksonville. Obviously, no home field advantage for either side here. It's also, on paper, being a New Orleans Saints home game. I would love to see this played in the Superdome. Kind of sways my angle in this game. I love the first half under. I think that the New Orleans offense is going to stall. And I think that, the crowd noise in New Orleans was going to be able to get to Aaron Rodgers in the first half. I think this line at 51 and now down to 50, it's pretty low for two teams that have shown historically that they can score points. I'm going to follow that line movement. I'm going to stick with that first half under. At 50, we would expect it to be at 25 or 25.5, depending on what type of janky book you get it at. But with the one half being, the full game being 50, the first half should be 25. So specifically in week 1. So I lean on the under on the first half. Like I said, I think this line is too low for two teams that have proven to be able to score points. I think this line screams Green Bay here, specifically because, like I said, these two teams have been notably known for being able to score points. What team is most susceptible to not scoring points? The team that's bringing back the MVP and, three offensive guys, three offensive playmakers, and also a former guy in Randall Cobb that you should expect more or added continuity to an offense that was already on a roll last year, or an offense that's introducing a brand new starter, a guy who hasn't played, a starting down in pro football in the past calendar year. So it makes me lean with Green Bay, but my play, I like the first half under 25.
Yeah, for me, I actually like the full game under the 50 points. I think the Packers, they got a few just, offensive line, things going on. And then it's just as far as just being in Florida, it's going to be humid out there. I think the Saints, defensive line is still pretty good. So I'll lean with the under here. I think points are not going to be as easy to come by as they probably were in the past for these two teams. But yeah, Green Bay starting 2 rookies on the offensive line. So just something to keep an eye on. So I'll lean. I like the under here at 50 points. Salman, what do you think?
They saying one of them 2 rookies on the line is a pretty damn good rookie. Can play every position on the line. That's what I hear on Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays. But as Keith said, I'm down with the last dance. Love the Packers here. Go to Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers, after this crazy summer you've had, back up your shit talk and get a W, man. We're not losing to Jameis Winston for our first game of the season. So I love the Packers -4.
All right, he loves the Packers -4. Next game, 2 games left, gentlemen. Let's try to get through them. Broncos favored about 2.5 at the Giants. Total of 42. Start with me here. I have a like on the Broncos. Another possible best bet minus the 2.5. What's interesting about this Broncos team is they have over the past 6 years they've been upgraded more than any team in Vegas's eyes, like from win percentage. So they're, as far as like sometimes we say that, we want to listen to Vegas. We want to, just understand, like, not going to try to like play the, oh, I'm so sharp, I'm going to be. Listen to them. They obviously think this team is going to be much improved. The Giants, their offensive line, they're going through a lot with that as well. I don't think they're going to be able to block guys. And then when it comes down to it, they're position players. I mean, first round pick is not going to play. Kadarius Toney, I believe his name is. I think Saquon is. They announced he is going to play now. But the tight end Evan Ingram is hurt. Kenny Golladay has just started practicing. He hasn't really practiced his entire offseason. So I can't back the Giants here. And then we talk about the Giants. They've been awful at home against the spread over the past however many years, 4 to 5 years. Much better on the road. I love to bet with them on the road. Don't like to bet with them at home. Teddy check down. Probably not going to turn the ball over much. Get the ball to Jerry Jeudy's of the world. So I like the Broncos minus the 2.5. Stout defense going to get after it. Soundman, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you here. Main thing that you said that stands out is the Giants are super banged up already just going into this game, and Broncos defense is not a joke. So you have nobody, you don't have your playmakers out there, and you're putting guys out there that's coming off injury, and then Daniel Jones is just super trash. So it's just like, no, Broncos, get this W on the road, man.
All right, Keith, what do you think?
I'm just gonna make it a resounding trifecta, but it's really more of a lean than a best bet to me. I don't like either of these teams this year. I'm not particularly high on the Broncos offense getting much better. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. I mean, I do like their rookie running back that they have. They can probably give them some juice, some some electric coming out of the backfield to maybe help Drew Lock, because I think he definitely needs help. I don't think it's a matter of him not having enough weapons, but I don't see what changed in terms of that part of their team getting better. The defense was always pretty stout. I don't think you need a better defense to beat the Giants per se. It's more so that I definitely don't think the Giants got any better. And all of their moves seem to not necessarily work to me in the offseason. So I'm gonna reluctantly take the Broncos here, but I'm not really feeling this game at all.
All right, Rome, what do you think?
Nothing for this game. Nothing at all.
Nothing. All right. Last game on the board. And gentlemen, get those teaser picks ready. Bears at Rams. Rams favored by 7. Total is 44.5. I guess I'll start with me here. I lean with the Rams. I just think that Bears offensive line, once again, I keep bringing up offensive lines, but their offensive line is not going to be very good. Rams defense, we know they're going to be good. Sean McVay 4-0 in season debuts since he's been the head coach here. I just think that they have the Rams number. I remember Rome last year when they played the Bears. You were all in on that Rams team in that game. So I just think that once again we talk about having the entire offseason to plan for something. This is why Sean McVay is 4-0 against the spread in his season debuts. I'm gonna back that against a Bears team who I still don't think defensively is gonna ever reach that 2018 team that they had. So I think they're just gonna keep getting worse. And Stafford, and I think McVay is going to be ready to unleash Stafford, as some would say. So I'll lean with the Rams minus the 7. Keith, what do you think?
I'm gonna very slightly lean with the Bears to cover the 7, just because of how low scoring I believe the game is going to be. And I think Vegas is. I think the total is pretty low as well. What do they have the total at?
44.5.
Yeah.
44.
Yeah, 44. That's super low. Yeah, I feel like 7 is a lot of points to cover at 44. I definitely love don't kill me, but I love teasing them down, throwing them on a teaser just at a pick 'em. Because I do think obviously they're better than the Bears, and I would bet money on that. But 7, I feel like it's a lot to cover when I think that the score will be low scoring. I don't think either team is going to come out here necessarily thinking they have anything to prove. I think they're both going to try to settle into their offense. They both have new things going on, new quarterbacks. So I think it's going to be a pretty low scoring, kind of boring game, honestly. So that 7 is just a lot for me to expect them to cover.
All right. Who did you go, Salman?
Nah,
Talk to me.
I would say that I actually do love the 7 just because NFL tried this last year, had a Rams on Sunday night, open up the beautiful stadium with the fans. Here we go again, round 2 with the fans here. Who's starting for the Bears? I do believe they're going to unleash this guy, Stafford. You got these weapons that we all know, the Woods, the Higbees, the Cups of the world. I think you just go out there and try to just destroy these Bears in the new stadium. So I think 7 is perfectly fine for them to cover.
All right, Rome.
Yeah, looking at this line, this is the 3rd lowest total on the entire pro football slate this week in terms of adjusted line. So right now this sits as the 3rd lowest total, but I want to go over this line. We saw what we got out of Andy Dalton last year. Wasn't impressive, but I don't know. I also don't think that was a perfect situation for him. We know what we're getting with Sean McVay offensively. They get their defensive coordinator shipped out. He gets a head coaching job on the other side of town in LA. And so now this is a new LA Rams defense with a new defensive coordinator. And this is an offense with a better, quarterback and Andy Dalton that I would say was better than Mitchell Trubisky, if not even. So I don't think there's any type of drop off there. And I think that if there was, how about this? They draft a guy at 10. He's not starting week 1. So the ceiling on the guy that they draft is obviously through the roof. And the guy that they choose to start is a guy who they signed prior to drafting this guy. So I think their offense, if you just want to be theoretically looking at this whole situation on paper, is better with Andy Dalton. And with that said, with this total at 44, I think the Bears are capable of scoring 20. I also think Matt Stafford is capable of scoring 20. You leave 4.5 points out there for margin. There's 2 field goals in between. I think this game goes over. I think it goes over the mark. I know it's the 3rd lowest score total on the slate this week. However, this line hasn't budged much at all. It opened at 43.5. It's up to 44.5 now, and obviously it's trending up. One line movement on the line isn't too impressive, but I still lean with that over there at 44.5.
All right. So there we go. Rome likes, you lean on the over.
I lean with that. I want to see where it goes. I think if it closes at 44.5, I like the over. Obviously, some people like catching a hook. When I see a hook, I like laying it because the book doesn't give you a hook just to play with.
All right. So that's our week 1 pod. Appreciate everybody for listening. We'll cut down the time. But before then, let's get to the tease me pick, gentlemen. The tease me picks. I will start with me. As I guess I'm assuming you guys might be looking through. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco. Mind you, a 6-point teaser. I'm gonna go with San Francisco minus the 1.5 points. Then I'll also go with Steelers plus 12.5 against the Bills from my 2-team teaser, 6-point teaser. 70% against, I was 70% on the teasers last year. So who's next? Who wants to go next? Let me know.
I got 2 teaser plays. I like teasing the Bucks down to 1.5. I know the line's at 7.5 right now. You take a 6.5 point teaser or a 6-point teaser, I get them down to 1.5. And then I also like teasing the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. I like teasing their over from 45 down to 39.5. Like there'll be more than 40 points scored in that football game in Carolina. And those are my 2 teaser picks for the weekend.
All right.
I feel like Rome totally stole one of mine because I said it on his own, but it's all good.
Which one?
The Bucks, though, you got it. Because I'm gonna tease I'm gonna make you mad because I'm gonna tease the Chiefs down to a pick 'em. They're -6 against the Browns right now. Just I like to go and just like give me the Chiefs to win. I mean, if you lose that, it's like wow, the Browns beat the Chiefs. And then I'm also gonna tease the I just had it. That Bills Steelers. I'm going to tease the Steelers up to plus 12.5.
All right. And Salman, what do you got for me?
I wrote these down. I think I'm what did I say? Oh, I'm gonna tease these the Hawks. Taking the Hawks plus 9.
No. Hawks are favorite.
I still have the Colts here. Well, shit.
They're minus 2.5.
I'm not doing that. Who else I have here? Oh, these Browns. I'm gonna take the Browns. You know what? I'm gonna do the Browns. I had them written. Where's the number at?
I got it plus 12. I mean 6 now, so it's plus 12.
Do the Browns, and then I'm gonna take the Niners. Take them down.
1.5.
Yeah.
All right, so you like the Salmon likes 49ers minus 1.5, and the Chiefs or the Browns rather plus 12. Keith like the Steelers plus 12.5. And what was the other one, Keith?
The Chiefs in the pick'em.
The Chiefs in the pick'em. I like the 49ers minus 1.5, and the fuck was my other pick? Oh, my other pick was the it was an early game. Oh, Pittsburgh plus the 12.5, and Rome like the over 39 for Jets Carolina, and Bucks minus 1.5. All right, and best bets presented by Bluehost.